Welcome everybody to Mantra College. Let's continue our discussion on Bhagavad-gita. What is going to happen to Arjuna is definitely going to help us in our life, because we will understand how to deal in very, very difficult situations that the life present us. So let's see. Arjuna is trembling. He is about to collapse on the chariot in front of Krishna.
No! 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 No!
So he is addressing Krishna in his state of bewilderment and forgetfulness and lamentation. Text 31. Nacha shriyo nupashyami hatva svajana mahavim nakankshi vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhanicha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Now, this is very, strong points that Arjuna is making. How can war be good? Basically, that's what he is asking. How is this possible that by killing other people we can do any good to the society? It's not possible. War is always bad, even in the modern world it's condemned, you ask anyone, like cheating other people, stealing their property, it's somewhat can be okay, even in the courts they will use the arguments like, okay, you can be sentenced to like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years for stealing someone's property, and then you'll come out and you can live your life again as normal, like as you used to live. But if someone says, like this guy murdered some other guy, then there is like a question of, okay, he'll be sentenced for like 20 years, very heavy punishment, or it'll be life sentence. Actually, I did one case in criminology on a guy who had a family, who had kids, and still he used to rape young women in the park. Like there was like 4 or 5 instances that they found out that he did it, and then he would kill them. So just mentally sick person, and they gave him 3 life sentences.
What?
Like, I don't know how that works, but obviously it could be possible in terms of Vedic culture, because there is a concept of reincarnation, but in the modern world there is no such a concept. So anyhow, the idea was that they can't negotiate and reduce this sentence. So even if they reduce to like few years, there'll be only one life sentence will be reduced to a few years. That means he still has 2 more life sentences. So somehow or other they made it clear that this guy is going to stay in prison for the rest of his life. Actually, according to Vedic Dharma, Vedic system of law, he should be murdered straight away. That sounds really cruel. In the Western world they would never understand this. Why? Because there is no concept of spirit soul, which can never be killed, and there is no concept of reincarnation, which means when you die you're just born again. So actually, like you change your clothes from when you come back from work, you will change your clothes into the home clothes, or like when you go to sleep you change into pajamas or something like that. Similarly, the soul changes this body at the death time and takes a new body when it's born, like a clothes. But because there is so much pain associated with it, and that pain comes from material attachments, as we will see further on in the discussion, we consider it to be such a big event. Although we lived many lifetimes, we changed many bodies, and we don't remember any of that, but somehow or other we consider death to be like the ultimate point of unhappiness, because you gotta stop living, and it's really scary and fearful. So anyway, Arjuna is presenting this case to Krishna. How is good that by killing other people we will benefit the society or make anyone else happy? So Prabhupada, our Acharya, our teacher, our guru, who translated this Bhagavad-gita as it is, meaning he didn't change any of the meanings that is taking place, or like any of the conversations. Many other people who translated Bhagavad-gita, they, in their commentaries, they put their own ideas. Prabhupada, he never did that. He always refers to some other books, some other Vedas to support his statements, as we read it last time. He quotes Srimad Bhagavatam and many other Vedic scriptures. And so, in purport to this text, Prabhupada writes, without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies on the battlefront and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there will be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight, just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence, because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. Interesting. So, without our understanding, what Prabhupada is saying, without our understanding of who is God, who is Vishnu or Krishna, and why does he have many names, and who we are.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Bruce?
We are conditioned by material nature, therefore he calls us conditioned souls. And we are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. So material life, as you all know, presents us a lot of challenges and difficulties. And for those who are lonely, who don't have a partner or family next to them, I know a lot of students, international students, they live by themselves or, with a other flatmate, but they don't really have close relationship. And especially now in this pandemic situation, when you can't go outside, your social life is finished, you cannot take shelter, you cannot enjoy this friendly relationship and discussions with your friends. So therefore you might feel even more lonely. So what to do?
Don't tell me what to do. Shh.
Because we don't have spiritual knowledge, spiritual understanding, we are only seeing one solution. That is to develop material relationships with other people. And Prabhupada especially is saying bodily relationships. So when we say to our partner, I love you, who do you really love? Do you love that body of that person? Because this man has a really nice muscles, he's good looking, has a good haircut, or he's very fit looking, or whatever, or opposite of that, whatever attracts you. Or if she's, very lean, slender waist, has a nice breast, beautiful smile, beautiful, face, eyebrows are nice. Is it that's what determines whether we love someone or we don't? So that's a big question that we need to ask, because actually what we are thinking love is just our simple attraction to someone else's body, thinking that we can enjoy just by looking at it or by exploiting, by engaging in intimate connection with that body, by touching or by looking or by kissing or whatever. So who do we really love If you just love the body, that means that person next to you, whom you consider really special, and whom you so-called love, you don't really love him or her. Because when they get old, or when their character changes, you're like, wow, what happened to that person?
This is our friend and neighbor, Larry.
Oh my God, what happened to you?
So who did you really love? Did you love that person? Did you love his body? Or did you love his personality? Still, his personality can change, and you can see people's personalities change over time. So love, which is conditional, is just material shadow of real love. It's based actually on lust. It's not real love. Real love is based on understanding who you are first. So if we are spirit souls, then we can understand our relationship with our Creator, where did we come from, and then we can understand our relationship with other souls, not the bodies, but the souls. And that relationship could be then called love, because it's unconditional. Whether someone hits me or whether someone kisses me, I treat them equally. And you will see in Bhagavad-gita, you will see yogis actually will treat equally both people. Because it's not based on action, it's not based on someone's body, but rather it's just based on the connection with the soul, with the self, with the supreme soul, and also with everybody else, all other souls. So anyway, don't want to get too deep into that, but point was we are trying to come together with other people to fall in love, have a partner, and then we're trying to together, being allies, we're trying to counteract the challenges that the life presents us, because it's easier as a team to go through life. Therefore, it's like we have a small team, me and my wife.
We are your community. When things get hard, we are going to be the ones who hold each other up.
That kind of idea, thinking that that's how we become happy. But later on we become upset, our expectations are not met, and somehow the divorce comes into play. We break up, and then children have to suffer and experience all the negative things. I mean, that's kind of worst case scenario. If you don't have children, it's not as bad, but still it's pretty bad. No one likes breakups because it really hurts.
Yeah, and nothing stays the same. If you ready for love, be ready for all the pain.
So anyway, these problems come from our bodily relationships. So we forget our spiritual identity, we also forget what causes material happiness and distress. That our bodily relationships actually cause material happiness and distress. Arjuna, moreover, he forgot that, okay, you don't want to think yourself of a soul, think yourself of your body, but what kind of body you have? Arjuna, you are a warrior by nature. So you can see in Vedic system, according to person's qualities, if someone is like, a fighter, he likes to protect other people, he likes justice, these people are warriors. It's not like the person who fights all the time, he is a warrior by nature. No, the person who has the qualities of a warrior, of a protector, of the person who likes to be everything to be fair and justice, then he is a warrior by nature. So Arjuna is a warrior by his nature. His body has that nature. His personality has that nature, subtle personality, psychology. So there is moral codes according to the scriptures, not that people came up with moral codes. If you ask, if you check different constitutions of the world, what are they based on? They're based on spiritual books, on religious books. Like America is based on the Bible, same as Australia, but no one cares anymore. But that's where all the moral codes came from. Similarly, in Vedas, there are moral codes for different types of people. So if you're a warrior, your moral code states that you have to fight for the right cause, right? You can't back off.
Live for nothing, or die for something.
And you have to kill other people as a matter of your duty. Because if the other person is crooked and trying to kill many other people, you gotta kill that person, right? So like, for example, like police, you know, they see a terrorist, a suicide bomber, he runs, and he's gonna like blow himself up in the middle of the crowd. So if policeman shoots him, that's his duty. And by the laws of God, this policeman, he will not be punished. There is no sin on his part for killing. Although, generally speaking, if you kill other person without, you know, any really good reason, you will be really punished by your karma. You get really bad karma. So you'll have to suffer either in this life or in the next life. But this policeman who kills that terrorist, I'm just giving you one of the examples, and he is not gonna suffer. Actually, he is actually getting good karma for that. Strange, eh? But he is saving many other people by killing that one person who is about to kill everyone else. So Arjuna, he forgot his nature. And here Prabhupada writes actually a warrior who dies on a battlefield. And the person who renounced everything, like a yogi, he went to the forest and he just meditating there and he just does spiritual activities, they both attain the same result. They both get this good karma, and then they can enjoy the heavenly planets, of which in this particular example Prabhupada writes Sun is one of them. So Sun is considered to be a heavenly planet, and after you leave this body, you can take birth again, not on this planet Earth, but on the Sun. How's this possible? What are you talking about, Yaroslav? What are you saying? How can you be born on the Sun? Do you know how many degrees are there on the Sun? Obviously I do know. But if I die and I live a life of somehow or other resembling the life of a fish, if I have a desires to, you know, stay underwater or something like that, I will be born as a fish. Or like if I committed some sins, actually it's considered to be a degraded lifestyle of a fish, because there is no intelligence going on. You can't think about life. You just live on instincts as a fish. So that fish also has a soul, and I can be born in my next life as a fish. Okay, that might sound reasonable. I can be reincarnated as an animal, right? So if I can accept that fact, humans can't live underwater. Not possible, you know, like actually in the water. They can live underwater if they get oxygen, but in the water they can't live. They need a different body. They need the body of a fish, which is suitable for living only underwater. Can't live outside, you know, can't breathe outside. You will die. So similarly, you will get the body that will be suitable on living on the Sun planet and being able to tolerate all this heat. Actually, it won't be even like you'll be tolerating the heat. You'll be really pleasant for your body. No, you'll be like, oh, it's quite warm here, it's pretty good. But there are really nice things happening in the heavenly planets. You can enjoy life without working hard and stuff like that. So, but that's not spiritual. I'm not talking about spiritual world. Spiritual world is beyond material creation, beyond all these heavenly planets, which are still material. So that understanding will be given in Bhagavad-gita later on. So everything, what I'm saying, don't think I'm coming up with these things. They're based on the scripture fully. So just to ignite your curiosity and ignite your interest in reading this book, please, if you have such inspiration, take up this book and you can go and read this book on your own and at a faster rate. But I'm not trying to go really fast. I'm just trying to make it as digestible as possible. I'm trying to really start a discussion here by invoking some of your questions. Arjuna is forgetting his nature as a Kshatriya, and somehow or other he started to make different arguments to Krishna to justify his own desire, like, oh, I don't want to die on the battlefield, and how are we gonna, make other people happy by killing them? How am I gonna be happy by killing other people? So let me just not fight. Forget this war, we'll cancel the war, say, okay, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, you guys win. I go into the forest. I'm going to the forest, forget it, So that's Arjuna's statement. He wants to just walk away of the battlefields, and he doesn't have good reasons, because even according, not even talking about the spiritual identity, which he forgotten, even just talking about his nature as a warrior, as the nature of his body and psychology, he should still fight. That's just a moral code for him, and it's good. Like, even if you die in the battlefield, you'll still achieve heavenly planets, which is really good, even if, same destination as people who practice yoga in a secluded place. So even from that perspective, he doesn't have a good reason. How does Prabhupada know this? How does Prabhupada propose these counter-arguments? Is it just his counter-arguments? No. Prabhupada read Bhagavad-gita, so he knows what Krishna is gonna say, and he's just mentioning shortly Krishna's arguments in this purport. So Krishna will counteract these arguments that Arjuna presents at the moment later on. So Prabhupada is kind of using these arguments from the future just to prepare us for that dialogue. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. We'll continue reading this wonderful book, Bhagavad-gita, as it is. If you can't get it, I really recommend you reading this book, especially now. Feeling anxious, feeling depressed, feeling like you need a change in life, feeling like you need the solution. Stop looking around for different fake gurus. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna say I listen to what Sadhguru says. I listen to many other so-called yoga teachers who have no idea what yoga means in life, but because they can practice different physical postures and breathing exercises and so-called, spiritual meditation, mindfulness meditation, all these things are not really gonna help you, because they're not deep, they're on the surface level. They don't solve the root cause problem. Trust me, I've studied this book and I've studied many other books under the guidance of my spiritual master, under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, through his commentaries and purports. This book has a logic, what other people, not all of them obviously, but I just called out some names and I'm justifying for that. Like Sadhguru, I listen to his lectures. What he says could be sounding very interesting and mesmerizing and beyond something that we've been taught in school. Still, it's very, very generic, very, very on the surface level. There's nothing deep in that. It might help you out for some time, but then you'll be frustrated in your life. So I don't want that to happen to you. So please read this book before you can get into any other philosophies or any other gurus. This will make it very clear what is what, like day and night. So that's just my only request. You can buy these books online, Bhagavad-gita as it is, you can order online. Same as Srimad Bhagavatam. Try to do it. Maybe the easiest way is to contact your nearest temple, Hare Krishna temple, and order from them online. So I really recommend you doing that. So thank you so much, and I'll see you for our next discussion. Give us a like, leave the questions in the comments below. Hare Krishna.